Wishing all of you a very good evening again, and thank you for joining us on a Wednesday evening. We're joined here by a team from Johnson & Wales University in the United States. I am Praneeth. I head the UG admissions for upGrad abroad. I'm going to be hosting the webinar this evening. To introduce upGrad to you, I think I'd say we bring some of the finest universities across the world in the US, UK, Australia, Canada, Germany, and we make them more affordable, more accessible for Indian students. We make it easier for working grads in India to at least kickstart their degrees while being in India, while pursuing their jobs alongside, and then finally transfer on campus when they feel they've got the right budget in place, they've got the right planning in place, and once they've done easing themselves into the academic rigor after years of gap from academia. So we're trying to make sure that we're bringing a shift in how education is perceived across working grads in India. We're joined by Johnson & Wales University, who have pioneered 3 different programs with us, 2 of which are MS, one is MBA. We have Iwan with us, who's the Director of Admissions, joining us from the United States. We've got Wesley Roy, who's the International Student Services Director. And we've got Hirak, who is the Territory Manager for India, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. I now pass over the speaking rights to Ivan to introduce his team. They've got a large team who's there, and I think he should be the best person to take this ahead, after which we will start talking about the different degree courses. We have got MS Data Analytics. We've got MS Information Security and Assurance. And finally, we've got MBA in Information Technology. The team at JW are more qualified to be talking about this. And I will then apprise you with the dual degree setup that we have, the IIITB and IMT Ghaziabad for MBA, IIITB for all the MS programs. Over to you, Ivan. Good to see you.
All right. Thank you. Good to see you as well. And I hope for the folks that are joining us today, as I kind of pull up my screen for our introductions here, I hope you can see we've brought a large group with us from Johnson & Wales, and I think that's representative of the type of support that you'll receive if you decide to move forward with our programs. And at a high level, I know Praneeth, you'll talk through some more detail, but at a high level, essentially, for the work that you're doing through upGrad, we've articulated into our academic master's degree programs credit that will transfer over and benefit you towards the process. But again, wanted to start with our introductions here. Again, my name's Evan Grenier. I'm the Director of Graduate Admissions for Johnson & Wales University. So happy to have you all here with us today. Maybe we'll go for our team kind of right down the list. And Wes, if in your introduction you want to say a little bit more about what ISSO does and how that's a resource for the students, since I know we've only got you for a short amount of time here, that would be great.
Absolutely. Very, very good. Well, good morning from Rhode Island and good evening for your time. My name is Wes Roy. I'm the Director of International Student Services at our Providence campus and the Academic Chair of our English Language and Culture Academy, which is our university-hosted ESL program. Our ISSO office stands ready to welcome you. We will work with you once you are admitted and go through the process of committing to the school. We will issue your initial I-20. We will guide you through so you can get your F1 visa, ask questions along the way. We'll have lots of information sessions and webinars so you feel ready and excited and prepared to welcome yourself to our campus when you are finally ready to make your way here to begin studies after your time in India. Our English Language and Culture Academy, for those of you interested in ESL studies, that is also an option as well. And we stand ready at all levels of our ESL program. Our staff is very diverse and has lots of backgrounds and understands what it means to be an international student in the United States. They're all experts at immigration and culture shock and acclimation to campus, and they are here to help welcome you. And we look forward to meeting you in person one day. Welcome.
Thank you, Wes. That's perfect. Robin?
Okay, here I am. I'm unmuted. My name is Robin Charlone. I'm one of the enrollment counselors. I work in the admissions department, obviously, and I'm here to assist you with the application process and make sure that you're on track to get started for your classes, along with Wes's office as well.
Thanks, Robin. How about Crystal?
Hi, I'm Crystal Baptista. I'm a records assistant. I work closely with the international applicants, the agents, collecting documents and getting everything ready for a decision and an I-20.
Thank you, Crystal. Nicole?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Nicole Cordero, and I am the team lead of, or one of the team leads of our enrollment counseling team. So I oversee the day-to-day operations of our enrollment team, helping with processing applications and decisions to get you enrolled.
Thanks, Nicole. Allie?
Good evening. Yes, my name is Alexandra. I am one of the enrollment counselors, and I will be specifically talking to you later about the MS and data analytics, and I will be assisting you with the application process when you get to that point. So welcome.
Thank you. Allie, Nick?
Hi, welcome. My name is Nicholas Medeiros. I'm also an enrollment counselor as well. So I'll be an assistant just like Allie and Robin in all their items that they do. I will be helping you as well.
Thanks, Nick. And finally, Harak.
Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Hirak. I'm the territory manager for Johnson Wales University. I'm based out of India. So I'll be working closely with the upGrad team and answering your queries, your profile evaluation as all. And welcome to the session. Thank you.
Thanks, Harak. So nice to have someone with boots on ground there as well. And so we have our team here. I hope you've seen our faces and heard our voices now. We've brought a lot of us, and we're here really to support you all in your kind of decision making and then your enrollment process. And Praneet, I'll just ask you, does it make sense now for us to kind of do our general update about Johnson Wales and the programs we've articulated?
Yeah, I think just prior to be doing that, I think I'd love to know from you a couple of things. One, when it comes to STEM education for masters, why do you think that's important? How is that shaping the future of the world? And why should a student who's pretty open to both MS and MBA degree choose either?
Yeah, thanks, Praneet. That's a really good question to get started to kind of set the stage here. And I think when it comes to STEM education, I think about the types of career paths and individual roles that are robot proof, right? It's a strategic position, but also something with hard skills where we're at a deficit for job holders right now, especially in the United States, meaning there's not enough graduates coming out with these very specific degrees. So it's the industries who are looking to hire here are really looking for students with this sort of background. So when I think about why a prospective student may want to get into STEM, for me, I think it's the job prospects, the outcomes, having the sort of skills that make you a hot commodity when it comes to career choices, right? It's not the type of positions that we're going to see one day that are being, taken over by robots or by AI. These are the sorts of strategic positions that are going to be setting that path. So Praneet, I appreciate that question. I think specific to Johnson & Wales, you'll hear a lot more about why our individual programs kind of stand out. But I think for these particular programs, which is our MS in cybersecurity, which is kind of an updated name, our MS in data science, and then our MBA in information technology, I should say an MBA with a concentration in information technology. Those three programs really stand out because of the way Johnson & Wales has connected with industry, the way that we teach the classes with small class sizes and access to faculty members. Being in Providence, Rhode Island, our geographic location helps a lot with being near these kind of tech hubs as well. So I think there's a lot of benefits for the programs in selecting one over the other. I'd say the area that there is some differentiation is with the MBA in information technology, right? I think of that as someone that has that specific business sense, maybe wants to start their own business, be an entrepreneur like that, but also recognizes the need for any sort of leader to have a background in information technology, understand how things come together and how they work from an information technology perspective. But then, you know, in the same breath, while I think about, you know, our MS in cybersecurity and the MS in data science, those are equally in-demand areas. They're just more focused on the activity of learning the I guess you'd say the industry or the individual courses, and less on the kind of business side that you'll find with the MBA. So I'd ask, you know, the prospective students here to think about, you know, what your interests are, and if a piece of that interest may include starting your own business, looking at things as an entrepreneur, looking to move up in a management role over folks that may not be in an information technology field. I think that MBA in information technology would be a better fit. If your interest really lies in kind of the technical knowledge and know-how of how to set up these systems, then I think either MS cybersecurity or MS data science would be a better fit there, Praneet.
Great, I think that does answer the question, Ivan. My next one to you is going to be, why do you typically endorse the United States? As in, what potentiality do you see in the US job market in the next 5 years? You have mentioned that there is a lack, or there is a shortage of skilled workforce in these fields. But what additionally should an international student be looking for, at when he or she is trying to choose the US for their master's degree?
Yeah, I think specifically for the United States, its connection to cutting edge industry, being a leader in these fields, having access to the thought leaders, through your program. I think those are some of the reasons why, the United States is a good fit for us. And specific to our location, being in Providence, Rhode Island, which is located in New England, and we'll jump into that in a moment or so. Being close to Cambridge and Boston in Massachusetts, having our own kind of rising tech field in Providence, Rhode Island, geographic location in the United States is important as well, to be near these fields for employment afterwards, but also the cutting edge piece of the tech industry is what helped us build these programs, right? Like working closely with industry, being aligned to where they see the future of these fields going has been an important step in the process in developing these programs. And each of our faculty members really understand that as well.
Got that. I think that does make sense. At this point, would love to jump in and let all the attendees know that we've developed, like Ivan mentioned, 3 programs. One is MS Data Analytics, one is MS Cybersecurity, and then there's an MBA in Information Technology. All 3 of them qualify as STEM degrees. And we've developed a pathway with IMT Ghaziabad, which is one of the most sought after private business schools in India, to the MBA in IT at Johnson & Wales University. And we've got an ACP in data science that leads up to a pathway for MSDA at Johnson & Wales. And then finally, we've got an advanced certificate program in cybersecurity that paves the way to an MS Cybersecurity at Johnson & Wales. So that is what we're talking about this evening. Also helping you guys save about 10 lakhs of Indian rupees on your MS degree in the US, and giving you about 8 months in the case of data analytics and cybersecurity to spend in India before you can actually transfer on campus. So you can start the degree course as early as 8 months, even while you're still in India. Ease yourself to the gruesome nature of academics. And once you're done fitting in and you feel that now is a good time to transfer, then you finally move to the next available intake at Johnson & Wales. But for the IMT PGP management pursuant, you do 11 months of your PG diploma in management with upGrad, and then finally move to campus after 11 months to the next available intake. But all in all, you end up saving about 10 lakhs of rupees. The team at JW is going to be giving you more into that, but I think now is a great time to know more about the program. Like I mentioned, IIIDB and IMT Ghaziabad have a massive role to play. They offer you a dual degree, but also the chance for you to spend in India, and also a chance to learn from 2 of the most sought after business and tech schools in India. In fact, IIIDB is the leading private tech school in India. I'd give the baton to Iwan now to talk more about the program and Johnson & Wales University in depth. Somebody here just asked us if they need to be a STEM grad to take up a STEM master's degree. That's not true. You can take up a STEM master's degree as long as you have a graduation in a relevant field, which may or may not be science at this point, right? So hope I answered that. Especially for the MBA, there is no such field. For data science and cybersecurity, you need to have a relevant degree, but you don't necessarily have to be a STEM grad.
Great, thanks, Praneet. And I'll do my best to keep our eyes on the Q&A as we go through, and we'll take time at the end to make sure that we've answered as many of the questions as we possibly can here. I think that you've framed the benefits of our relationship quite perfectly. You know, I think it's the best of both worlds to have kind of the introduction and really get into things in your home country, and then also have that experience in the United States, potentially with Johnson & Wales, which, as I mentioned with our location, you know, we have campuses in Providence, Rhode Island and Charlotte, North Carolina. What we're talking about today is through our Providence, Rhode Island campus. So wanted to give you kind of a sense of where we are geographically, and then also how do you get here, right? It's I mentioned our proximity to Boston and Cambridge. We're about an hour from Boston, which has a major international airport, in Boston Logan Airport. Additionally, we have TF Green Airport just south of campus in Providence, Rhode Island as well. There's more connecting flights that go into TF Green. It's not quite as big an airport as Boston's Logan Airport, but truly an easily accessible area with a lot going on here. And when I think about the types of activities that we have around campus, the campus community that we have here in Providence, Rhode Island at Johnson & Wales University, you know, first of all, I want to start with some of our pictures. When you look at the upper left-hand corner here, that's our Down City campus. You can see it's really the only college or university in Providence, Rhode Island that's located downtown, you know, central to industry and our partners. And then with that, we have it still in Providence, Rhode Island, our Harborside campus, which is located right on Narragansett Bay. So Rhode Island is known as the Ocean State. It has quite a bit, I think 350 miles of border with the ocean. So you know, I mentioned best of both worlds earlier. Even on our campus, you have the best of both worlds, where we have a location in downtown Providence, the upper left-hand corner picture, that's right in the middle of kind of the bustling city. And then the picture in the center in the middle there doesn't show the ocean, but it does show our Harborside campus, which is a little bit more spread out. And then Providence more generally is really a quirky Renaissance city with one of the greatest concentrations of college students in the United States. There's 25 distinct neighborhoods to explore, including Down City, which is our kind of primary campus I mentioned there in the pictures. There's a thriving music scene, arts, concerts, theaters. It's, you know, if you're passionate about food, Providence, Rhode Island is the place to go, frequently ranked number one in different magazine rankings and you know, television shows, and always highly ranked as one of America's favorite cities. And many of the kind of celebrity chefs that come through here are also Johnson & Wales alumni, and we'll talk a little bit more about that alumni network as well. So hopefully, you know, you get an opportunity to learn even more and come visit campus at some point. I mentioned we're about an hour drive from Boston, Massachusetts. We're also about a 3.5 hour drive or train ride from New York City. So it gives you kind of a sense we're kind of in between those two cities as well, with easy access. But, you know, when I think about why international students enroll at Johnson & Wales, you can see, you know, a lot of the reasons that our students have told us here. That experiential education, you know, we have a background as a university, starting as a business school, but then kind of morphing into being more focused in culinary and hospitality before kind of returning to a comprehensive education. So I think what we've learned through that, through the focus on kind of hospitality as well as culinary expertise, is we need to be connected to industry. We need to be very close with the folks that are going to be potentially hiring you one day. So the experiential education is unique to how Johnson & Wales prepares our students inside our small class sizes, which typically average about 15 students for every one for each class, 15 students, 1 faculty member. For our graduate courses, we have comprehensive services here on campus, which you can read a little bit more about right there. More than 100 clubs and organizations. And when I think about taking the leap and traveling internationally for your education, I want to know that I'm going to be supported while I do that, and that there's a sense of community, there's a sense of belonging, and our students absolutely get involved, and they feel that both at the undergraduate level and at the graduate level. We have English as a second language courses for our students that are coming in that need to take advantage of that. I mentioned being in a city here in the United States, we have comprehensive security measures as well. We have a very safe campus. That's a question that comes up sometimes from students who are not familiar with the area, but we really do have a safe campus, and we take every step to make sure that that continues there as well. So we'll talk a little bit more about our, the industries that we've gotten into at Johnson Wales University. I mentioned kind of starting in culinary and hospitality more recently, and you can see that kind of reflected in the sorts of areas of focus here. I think it's important to know, even though you may have, the focus of specific to MS cybersecurity or data science and these kind of technology programs, I think it's still important to know that, as a comprehensive university, our alumni are working in many different fields that you see here, and can help you advance in that way as well. So we're not only offering those courses, and because of that, thinking about the multidisciplinary nature that we're able to offer at Johnson Wales University, it's important for developing the whole person, and not just the kind of hard skills that will allow you to get started, but also the soft skills that will allow you to be at management levels as you grow your career. And I mentioned our alumni, what does it mean to be a Johnson & Wales alumni? We have some of the most famous chefs that you see on American television have gone through Johnson & Wales University. We have higher up, executive C-suite alumni at each of the corporations that you see here. We also partner with them in teaching their employees some of our academic programs as well. Our network of alumni is now over 120,000 alumni from more than 150 countries around the world. So when you think about that kind of international footprint, where you may want to end up one day, knowing that there's connections to industries throughout the world in these 150 countries that our students are coming from, I feel is very important. And that's something I would want to draw your attention to as you start to make a decision about your future and start to make those plans as well. Earlier, we heard from Wes about the services through the ISSO, the International Student Services Organization that we have at Johnson Wales University. These are some items that show the areas that they help with throughout. And more than that, they're a resource to direct you to the right offices on campus to get you connected with folks that can answer your question, even if they aren't the first ones that are going to be able to answer it. And another thing I'd want to point out at this point is we plan on offering on-campus housing for our international grad students as well. There's going to be an application process for that. So I think that's a little bit of a differentiator as well, that many of our grad students, internationally and domestic students, choose to live off campus. Well, now an option exists for our international students to be right on campus and have one fewer thing to worry about as you kind of get your feet under you as you're getting started here. So the main point here is we have the student services available to help you before your arrival, as you're arriving, and on an ongoing basis with your time at Johnson Wales University. So as we start to kind of transition into talking about each of the individual programs, I thought I would take a quick look at some of the questions and answers, which I see a question about our scholarship opportunities, which I know folks are very interested in. For international students coming in, there are no specific scholarships at this time, but I think to Praneet's point earlier, the transfer credit coming in is part of this articulation with the academics that you're taking through upGrad at wonderful universities in India. Those credits transfer directly into our programs with Johnson Wales University. So with that, there's a reduction of cost from a program that's already very competitively priced when you take a look at some of the other programs that are there.
Just want to jump in and also add that instead of a regular 26 to 30 lakhs rupees of master's degree that you end up spending, you're saving almost 10 lakh rupees. So your portion in the US would cost you as less as about 16 lakhs. And the portion in India, where you're doing the advanced certificate program or the postgraduate diploma in management, would cost you about 2.75 lakhs. So within about 18 to 19 lakhs, you're doing your complete MS degree in the US, plus an additional PG degree or a PG certification in India. You're saving 10 lakhs rupees. That in itself is a big scholarship. And not only the dual degree, but that gives you advanced credits and an advanced standing into the course that you're doing at MS. This particular program that the team is just explaining is preceded by an IMT Ghaziabad PGD in management. And this opens up the MBA in information technology will be offered to you after 11 months when you transfer on campus. And I think I'd pass the baton back to Ivan to take this ahead.
Yes, thank you. So we'll start talking about the individual programs. So why don't we go ahead with our MBA in information technology here.
So welcome, everyone. As I mentioned before, my name is Robin. I'm one of the enrollment counselors here at Johnson & Wales. I'm going to talk to you just for a moment about our MBA in information technology. It's a great choice because, as Evan's already mentioned, as technology continues to become an increasingly central to the success of organizations in all industries worldwide, technology professionals with management skills are in really high demand. And that's both here in the US and globally. It's a great opportunity for IT professionals who are seeking to advance their careers and reach leadership positions, but it's also great for those who are looking for a career change. As well as some who are just coming fresh out of school, who are looking, as Evan mentioned earlier, possibly for entrepreneurship opportunities, but they need that IT background, that information technology knowledge and background as well. So some of the course highlights are listed on the screen, as well as that upon completing the degree, professionals can land roles in like information technology manager, chief technology officer, project manager, IT business relationship manager, or even computer and information research scientists. And you can see what some of the outcomes are. Again, these careers are in really high demand. So there's a 96.8 career outcome rate. 88% of Johnson & Wales alumni are employed in their field after they finish their degrees. And you can see that the average salary for information technology occupations in the US is just over $94,000. So why would you want to get your MBA at Johnson & Wales? The IT concentration allows successful graduates to excel at both leading and doing. As mentioned earlier, our faculty members are still working in the industries that they're teaching in. So they're bringing real life projects into the classroom for students to work on. So not only are you getting that, the educational part of it, the instructional part of it, you're getting the experiential education part of it as well. And our faculty members are great for networking opportunities. And then in this challenging employment environment, IT professionals not only need to be competent in their fields, but they need to be known as can-do leaders. So that's what gives our graduates that clear edge to succeed in their fields after graduation.
Great. Thank you, Robin. Appreciate that. I'm sure we'll have some questions as we close out on the MBA Information Technology, but for now, we'll move on to the MS Cybersecurity.
Hi again, Nick from Johnson & Wales, enrollment counselor. With increased data breaches, cyber hacks, and leaks, there is a high demand for cybersecurity. This is a great program to get students ready for this field and industry. Within this degree, students will understand the different scenarios that may happen in attacks and how to recover items once there has been an attack and what to do to prevent them. With this degree, students will have the opportunity to prepare for various security certifications. And some sample courses with this degree is software security testing, hacking countermeasures and techniques, as well as network security and cryptography. This degree requires a 3.0 GPA for the undergraduate degree It could be ranging anywhere from 36 to 39 credits. And this program is targeted for students who have a bachelor's degree in information technology, computer science, or networking and software engineering. As you can see on the screen, 96.8 career outcome rate, 33% job growth from 2020 to 2023. And then average salary would be just over $91,000.
Which is almost 4 times the return on what they're investing. Almost 4 times. Brilliant.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and thank you, Nick, for taking us through the MS Cybersecurity program there. Let's move on to the MS Data Analytics, where I think you'll see, a similar return on investment there as well. And let me move the slide. There we go.
Hi, as I said before in the beginning, my name's Alexandra, and I will be guiding you through the process through the MS in Data Analytics. This program is a great fit from everyone from my frontline supervisor to department heads and CEOs, decision makers at every level, depending on technology of big data to help guide companies towards success. This program is designed to provide students with an in-depth knowledge for applying statistical method and tools to solve real-world problems using data. The program includes core courses in statistical topics as well as advanced applications of data analytics. Upon successful completion of our program, students, graduates will be prepared to tackle both the technology and business challenges posed by big data and increase your value to your organization and need professions who can help propel businesses forward with powerful decision-making data. This is a program that requires a GPA of above a 3.0 and goes along with all of our requirements for the application process, which I would be assisting you on once you apply. Upon completion of the program, graduates are expected to understand the integrated knowledge of math, statistics, and computer science in collection and analyzing and interpreting data. As you can see on the slide, the average salary is quite competitive, and the growth rate is expected to continue to grow. And you can see the course highlights specifically that you would be taking with completing this degree.
Great. Thank you, Allie. That's perfect. So as I kind of think about wrapping up those programs and before we kind of stop our screen share and get into some of the question and answer, which I think will be kind of the best part of the presentation, if I were to sum up the last 3 slides, I'd say, when you look at Johnson & Wales, when you look at this relationship with upGrad, you see students that are having strong outcomes. Right, so they're completing the program, so there's not a loss in their investment. They're getting through the program because of all the student services that we have here and the way that we teach the programs. So successful completion is at the top of the list. Then, as I look through those slides for each individual program, I see the career outcomes as well. Right, these programs were intentionally selected because they're in growing fields. With strong salaries and in very high demand right now. And then when you match that up with each of the industries for each of the 3 programs, you match that up with the career services that we offer here at Johnson & Wales, you see the career outcomes as well. So it's kind of offering the right programs in the right fields with all the right checkpoints and assistance along the way. And Allie touched on this right towards the end of her presentation, but when you're working with upGrad, as you're working through the transition potentially to Johnson & Wales, we have enrollment counselors that will help you every step of the way. Then as a current student, you'd be assigned an advisor that would help you with each of the steps as you're here on campus in Providence, Rhode Island. And then we also have the career services that will help you as a graduate to take full advantage of the opportunities and the investment that you have here at Johnson & Wales through upGrad. So really want to thank you all for your time, for joining. Not the end of the presentation for sure. We want to talk through some of your questions and what else you'd like to know about kind of the relationship with upGrad and Johnson & Wales and the potential outcomes of that.
Thank you, Evan. At this point, we want to jump in and ask the attendees to put down their questions on the Q&A button. We've got a few of them, which I have managed to answer. I think one which is worth everybody's time is how much of post-study work visa do you get? So like the JWD mentioned, these are all STEM approved programs. They have a STEM code, and so you get a 1+2 year of OPT. You'll have 90 days to activate your OPT, find the right job for yourself, and then you have an extension of 2 years. So 1+2, 3 years of OPT that you get for your MBA, MS Data Analytics, and MS Cybersecurity. In terms of what Evan mentioned, the relationship between upGrad and JW is that the IIID Bangalore Advanced Certificate Program is hosted on upGrad's tech platform, post which you get an advanced standing or 6 credits to your study at JWU. And post that you transfer, and we help you with your visa and application process. While your IIID B or IMT course is going on, we help you with live lectures, we help you with doubt resolution, we help you with student support and all your application and transfer related work that you need. A good question for you, Evan, should be, will there be any co-ops or internships? I think he or she probably means CPT or any internships that's a part of the year curriculum.
Yeah, thanks, Praneet. And as you mentioned, we do have our OPT option for afterwards. While you're on campus, we do have the ability to have some campus jobs for you. There are no internships or co-ops required as part of the program, meaning, you can complete as quickly as you'd like. But if you'd like to investigate, pursuing an internship as part of the program while you're here, that's something we'd be happy to assist you with.
Thanks, Evan. We've got a few questions for you. Queries related to MBA IT. What are the job prospects, placements, job fairs? So I think Naman wants to know the career support services that JWU extends towards the students. Second is the intake months. So I think we can take this one by one. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So through career services, we have different career fairs right on campus, in person. Robin, I know you've attended a couple of those recently as well. So each term we invite employers to campus. They meet with our Johnson Wales student. We have a strong success rate, so the employers are happy to come to campus and meet with our students. I think for each of the individual programs, you saw some of the job growth numbers, the median salaries. So there's not a lack of opportunity in these fields, and that's why we've selected them. And the Johnson Wales preparation within each of the fields is a way to set yourself apart a little bit more in these areas.
Got that. I think what we can also add is the sort of employer base that JW has for MBA IT grads. Would you want to highlight that as well, Evan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when earlier in the presentation, I mentioned we have 120,000 current alumni. So from our current alumni base, there's a huge network there, in addition to all of the industry partners. And by that, I mean, leaders in HR at companies that could potentially hire you, right? So we have an enormous network that's available to you, both as a current student at Johnson & Wales and as a graduate. And the opportunity to take advantage of that, I think, is really valuable in your education.
Got that, Evan. Intake months are going to be Jan and September. So we've got the winter intake, and then, of course, the fall intake. Hope I'm right with that, Evan? Yes?
Yeah, absolutely. So our intakes from the Johnson & Wales side are primarily in, early September, and then in spring, January. So we have our team, which is led by Wes, who you met earlier, that will help you with your kind of arrival services, getting you checked in, getting you to orientation and oriented to everything that you're going to need to know about, where your classes are located, where you're living. All of those items will be happy to take you through. We do have some students that start in the summer, which is really kind of next week for us here, starting in May, but primarily for international students, we're looking at fall, which is a September start. You usually join us right at the beginning of September, if not the end of August, and then a January start, which is early January. So you'd likely join us, right towards the new year. The first days in January is typically when our international students are traveling.
Got that, Evan. Part-time jobs during studying. So just for you to know, Naman, your F1 visa does not entitle you to work off campus. But you can work on campus. You've got graduate assistantship and TA roles. I think I'd let Evan answer that in more detail. Of what kind of part-time work can these students apply? And can they apply for a few jobs even before actually coming on campus? Can they apply in advance?
Yeah, so after their admissions and their enrollment is confirmed, we start to open up some of the application process. That's not to say that that it's required that you do it before your arrival. We actually prefer that you come to campus and get a sense for what your schedule looks like before you start applying for those sorts of jobs on campus, which are varied. There's a lot of opportunities. I think of the kind of graduate TA. Grad assistant opportunities, the working in the library, the sports complex, all the businesses that we have on campus, the bookstore, they are all hiring students, and specifically for international students, the experience that they tend to bring in make them kind of valuable to have on campus working in these sorts of roles. So if anyone on the team has anything to add to that, feel free to jump in. I think it's yeah, go ahead, Robin.
No, I think you made a really good point about how the international students are desirable for some of these offices. I think a big part of it is because we have such a huge international population on campus. So it helps to have those individuals helping out in the different offices. But you're right, Evan, there's a lot of on-campus employment opportunities, and there's graduate assistantships offered through residential life.
Wonderful. And I'm assuming they have the option of certain IT or tech trainee roles in your admissions department also. Would that be a possibility?
Right now, and I think this is mostly kind of COVID based, we don't have any student employees in the admissions office for grad admissions. Historically, we have though, so I think it's something that we're looking to bring back. There's some opportunities for those that do the more front-facing admissions work, like tour guides and being part of the welcome center and helping with events. Those are certainly open, but we're looking to have some additional kind of grad assistantships in our office. But I do think, that the question before this, Praneet, kind of helps to help us think through the application process. And I'm wondering, Crystal, if you could just say a few words about how the typical admissions process works for international students. And again, in this relationship, we have everything articulated with upGrad. We know what kind of credit you're going to have coming in for your master's degree program. But I think it's still helpful, Crystal, to kind of talk through what items we're going to need and what we're looking for and how we're going to help you get those to us.
Sure. So in addition to college transcripts showing the courses that you've taken, we would need a statement of purpose, which is a short essay explaining why you're interested in Johnson & Wales and the program that you selected, and kind of outlining the background that you have. 2 letters of recommendation, as well as a resume or CV. Those documents can be submitted by email to your enrollment counselors who are on this meeting as well. And in addition, for the I-20, we would normally, that's not required until after a decision has been made on your application, but we would need the obvious bank statement, financial declaration form, and a copy of your passport. We have a secure portal where those documents can be uploaded so that it is not shared through email. And the application we have online. I also wanted to know in regards to the student employment question, we do have on our website links to where you could see samples of current available student employment positions. And that is something that you could also see through what we call your JWU link, which would be your student portal once you enroll. You could actually go on and apply for those positions and find out more information about them.
Thanks, Mr.
Thanks.
We've got the, please.
Oh, no, that's okay. What were you going to say?
Thank you. We've got someone asking if GRE GMAT is required. So just for everybody here to know, GRE GMAT is waived off. So not in question anymore. Because look, GRE or any such exam is just for you to prove your academic readiness and the fact that you can actually cope up with the rigor of studies there and that your fundamentals are clear. Now, we understand that you may be a working grad or you're not, you've not graduated from a STEM field, which is why we give you those pathway programs for you to get a good sense and get a good grip and then pass that advanced certificate or PG diploma with a good GPA, after which then you move on campus. So which is why GRE GMAT is actually waived off, right? So I hope I answered that. I'm a non-STEM major student. Can I still apply in this program? Well, yes, I mentioned to you, the eligibility criteria is 55% in 10th, 12th, and graduation. You don't need to have a particular degree if you want to do the MBA or the MS in cybersecurity. But for MS in data analytics, you need to have a BE or BEng, B Technology or BSc as your background to enter the program. Now, I'm not sure if you're talking about some specific STEM field, but I'm referring to as a general engineering or a science degree only for MS data analytics. I hope I'm right there, right, Evan?
Yeah, yep. I think you're answering it perfectly. And I also see the question here about which campus the data analytics students will be on. Most of the graduate courses are offered at the Harborside campus, which is just a short walk to the beach in Narragansett Bay and really a beautiful campus. We do have free busing service that goes between the two campuses. They're very close, within a couple miles. But again, I think the benefit is having kind of the two different feels in the same area of being, downtown, kind of, tall buildings and tight space, and then also having the openness of our Harborside campus with some of our classroom facilities really are extraordinary, and I hope you get a chance to see them. And in that vein, thinking about the reasons why some of the international students have selected us. Harak, I'm interested. You've worked with a lot of students that have selected Johnson & Wales from a lot of options in the United States. So maybe Harak, you could say a few words about kind of the main points or reasons why they've selected Johnson & Wales.
Yeah, so basically the main points would be, it's very it's a ranking, I get many applications for hospitality management and some of the programs like data analytics or MBA in IT and all. So these are very upcoming program. It's it's a very demandable program, and students they like the course curriculum. I talk to many students. I share the course curriculum with them. They see the courses before they even apply to the program, and they can see the program, which is highly it will be a huge demand, because the students, when they apply, before even they apply, they do a lot of research. They go to various universities website and see what are the courses that the university is offering to that particular program, and even the number of credits that we are being offering, as well as the affordability. I'll say the per credit program that we charge towards the international students is very affordable. So it is also one of the reason that I get for the students, and also the location definitely is very close to Boston and as you mentioned, the New York City. So because students not only they think about where they will be studying, but where they'll be looking for their internship jobs or some sort of placement after their graduation, and if they believe that that they can stay in Providence and they can travel to Boston for their work and come back to Providence, they can save a lot of money, because for them Boston would be a little bit expensive in terms of living expenses, so they can stay back in Providence, they can take the public transport. Many students have their families in Boston, so they would like to stay back in Boston and come back to Providence for their classes and all. So I get a variety of various types of queries from the students, but most of would be I think why they would be choosing Johnson would be definitely the kind of course curriculum we're offering, as well as the location and the career prospect. We have very, as you mentioned, very strong relations with the industries. We have alumni from so many countries, and even we have alumni in India. So some way they also promote JW. We have some, because sometimes they come back to me that I have a senior who went to JW, and he's working in this organization. So can you please tell me more about the application process and all? So I do get this kind of queries a lot.
Thanks, Chirag. We've got Aditya. Unfortunately, you're not eligible for the program. We take a maximum of 10 backlogs, and anything beyond that is unacceptable for most US universities. However, I think if you can maybe write to me on my email address, which I'm putting down here, we could help you with an alternative program that does not require or has a specific has no specific backlog limit, but I think JW is very strict about this and cannot take more than 10 backlogs at all. And especially, I can see you've got 34, so I don't think we're going to be taking that. I'd still give the chance to Evan to speak and sort of take that also.
Yeah, I'd say I'm in agreement. That's beyond what we'd usually look for admission. However, with individual circumstances, I think, between Praneet, myself, this team, we'd be happy to take a look at any documentation you have to see if you may be a fit before you kind of commit to the program.
Got that, Evan. What would be the starting visa process if you start the course in April? So for April, you will complete the 8-month certification program latest by December. And I think that's a good question. So you're basically trying to ask if you can enter the Jan intake or not. And we're just cut it short if we're going to be doing your visa and everything. So I think here's what you can do. You can write to us. I'm giving you my email address. It's praneet.singh@upgrad.com. And I can take that query for you and sort of see if you start with us in April, can you qualify for the Jan intake or not? But look, one thing is that you have to finish the course, the ACP course. But second is, I can always check with the JWU team on how early can your I-20 be released, subject to the completion that you, in fact, will complete the 8 months ACP.
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm inclined to say the timing would just work out, but I think given how tight things could potentially be, I agree. I think we'd want to take some time and make sure we give you the correct answer with that. I know we're kind of closing out on time here. I see the question about the syllabus for MBA in the IT field. And we have a lot more available on our website and also the upGrad pages. I mean, we have some really incredible courses as part of that, again, with a focus on management, focus on business, but then the concentration in information technology. I think one of the bigger course highlights is strategic management of information technology, decision support systems, current trends and issues in information technology. So, again, the focus on management, on business, on leadership, on all those things, but also really deep kind of technical knowledge as well, which I think is, what the industry is looking for. I know that kind of pulls us right up against time. So Praneet, I don't know if there's anything to kind of close us out or kind of final thoughts here.
Yes, I think we're almost near the end. Just this final one that I would request you to take, or someone on your team to take, is what kind of profiles are generally offered to tech MBAs? Well, I think I can also take that. We have a list which I can pull up, but I think until then you can sort of ask someone on your team to talk about the kind of job profiles that are available for an MBA grad in the US and IT.
Yeah, sure. Robin, did you want to say a few words about that? I know is a part of the presentation for MBA IT, I think you mentioned some of the kind of opportunities there.
Sure. So in addition to the ones that were listed on the slide, there's other opportunities for positions like information technology manager, chief technology officer, project management, IT business relationship manager, or computer and information research scientists, just to name a few.
Yeah, I've got a few. Also, we've got systems administrator, business analyst in IT, project manager, data analyst, ID manager, all of them a little north of 90,000 US dollars. In terms of MS in cybersecurity, we have got security analyst, information security analyst, systems analyst, and security administrator. And in terms of data analytics, we've got data analyst, data engineer, data scientist, and analytics specialist. Data scientist earns a little north of 97,000 US dollars. My goodness. I think I can go back to Evan to talk about a few more roles if in case I missed any for cybersecurity and data science.
No, I think we've hit the main ones. And again, while it is a technically focused degree, I think one of the differentiators for Johnson & Wales is the fact that we are a comprehensive university. So it's not simply the technical skills. You know, I think it's especially on display with the MBA, but across all of our programs that you have kind of the soft skills to be able to communicate and manage people, then also the hard skills, the technology, the know-how, the building blocks that you're going to need. You know, those are both sides of that are provided through the Johnson & Wales graduate programs.
Thank you, Evan. I hope I answered all the questions. I have been trying to compose a message with all the application pages. I think someone just asked us if these are, my goodness, please pardon me on the chat box. I'm just trying to compose that message. But one of you asked me if the applications are on. Well, yes, they are. We are all set. I think the batches have started. I'm just trying to put down the names of all programs so you can pick up the one that suits you the most and then in fact then apply on our platform. Now is the final message that I've given. So MBA in IT, MBA Data Analytics, MS Cybersecurity. I've given you all three options. Please feel free to apply. And I think now should be a good time to end. Would like to thank the entire JWU team for being here. I think it's been an absolute pleasure. We could and we did answer as much as we could. And hopefully some of these students are going to be on your campus very soon, Evan, and you'll have a chance to see them.
Yes, absolutely. Great. Thank you all for having us today. And we look forward to sharing more information and getting any additional questions as you have them.
Thank you very much. And I request all of you to please follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and all SM handles for you to be updated about all our university launches. And follow our website, upGradabroad.com. We have started the batches, but the application intake is still open, so you don't have to worry about it. You can still apply. By batches, I don't mean we've started with the live lectures. We've just started with a batch intake now. The batch starts soon, but you can still apply. Wishing all of you all the best, and please reach out to me for any questions. I can and will connect you to the entire JW team: Robin, Nicholas, Crystal, Nicole, Hirak, and Alexandra, and hopefully we should be able to help you. Thanks again, team.
Right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
great evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.